Okay, so hey everybody, welcome back to our next installment of the Detroit Hustle podcast. This is season 3, and today we're going to be talking to someone. I'm so excited to talk to him. He's an actor, a voiceover artist. I mean, he's amazing. I've been following his career for a few years now, not knowing that we had the connection that we had, but we know a lot of people in common, so this is really awesome. So we got that Detroit connection going on. But I want to welcome Joel Steingold to the podcast. Welcome, Joel.
What's up, everybody? First of all, Melinda, I don't know why you lead with the acting. I babysit and I do hair.
And
I
you
mean,
do
you.
floral arrangements.
I do some floral arranging. You know what I'm saying? People love to lead with the acting stuff. You know what I'm saying? A good French braid. I'm telling you, I'm on it. A little twist, a little fade. You know what I'm saying? I fade. I actually specialize in fading knuckle hair. So if any of your uncles got them just hairy, you want just a nice little fade, little taper, holla at your
Oh
boy.
my gosh. Okay. So I already see what this is going to be. All right. So, Joel, tell us
Yes.
about where you're from in the D and kind of where you got your start.
I'm from the west side of Detroit, right over near
Okay.
the Northwest Movie Theater. If
Okay.
anybody out there who survived bullet wounds and stab wounds from the Northwest, you know what I'm saying? Big shout out to you.
Oh no.
And big shout out to those who could run fast. You did not want to go see nothing like Tougher Than Leather at Norwest, that's for sure.
Oh.
But right over on the west side, right near the Southfield Freeway in like 6 Mile, Grand River area.
Mhm.
Not
Okay.
Rosedale
What
Park.
school?
We ain't had that kind of bread.
Oh,
We were right across from, we were
on the
Rosedale
other
Park
side.
adjacent. Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, I mean, it kind of rubbed off, I guess, right? I don't know.
Which
What
part? The
school?
Rosedale Park part?
Yeah, a little
Oh
bit.
no! Oh no! Our community rubbed off on Rosedale Park. That's how it worked.
Oh, okay. I get it now.
You
I see
know,
what you're
they
saying.
tried to steal
Okay.
my bike in Rosedale Park in the supposed nice area. See, don't believe the
What?
hype.
See, you never know. You
You
never
never know.
know.
Got to watch your
Well,
back.
what schools did you go to in Detroit?
I started off. I actually spent a little stint at Plymouth Congregational Church, like preschool, and then I think a little bit of kindergarten because I think, if my memory serves correct, there was like a teacher's strike or something. But so I spent a
Okay.
little bit of time there. Then I went to Golightly Educational Center
Oh,
from first grade all the way through 8th grade, and then I went to Cass Tech for high school.
okay. I went to Bates, so I know Go Lightly was
Oh,
kind of
okay.
a bit of a rival for us,
A
a little
little bit,
bit.
a little bit. My
Yeah,
mentor,
yeah.
Mr. Johnson, was maybe
Ah,
your
Ray
principal.
Johnson. Love Ray Johnson. Shout out to
Yeah.
Mr. Johnson. I just talked to him a couple of years ago on the phone. So,
Okay. I just
yeah.
spoke to him yesterday.
Did you? Awesome. So now I have to call him again.
Yes.
It's been a minute. All right.
Hmm.
So that's awesome. So Cass Tech, what was your curriculum? Because I don't even know that.
My curriculum, believe it or not, was not cosmetology and hair. It was theater.
Okay.
It was
No
the
surprise there.
performing arts curriculum.
Okay. Awesome. So I know Miss McCormick was a big influence for you.
Yeah, huge, huge. Yes. Hmm.
Okay. So then what was your journey from Cass to now? I know that's a chunk, but can you kind of give us a bit of an overview of how you made it from Detroit to LA and all the things that you're doing now?
Yeah, I left Cass and that I was choosing between two colleges, either Howard or North Carolina School of the Arts. And I decided to
Okay.
go with North Carolina, even though like there was a big part of me that wanted to go to Howard. But North
Mm-hmm.
Carolina, they offered me a little bit of bread.
Mm.
And also at the time it had the reputation of being a better school for
Okay.
acting, but that's a very subjective term.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to go to North Carolina School of the Arts, and I spent 2 years there, and then was cut from their program. They have a
Oh
um,
wow.
very competitive program, and they told me they didn't think I was cut out to be an actor, and I should consider something else. And then so after that, I took a semester off to collect my thoughts and decide what I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
do with the rest of my life. Because that was kind of a big blow to my
Sure.
confidence, especially being 19 years old. You know what I mean? Pretty young.
Yeah.
And then I decided, no, they don't know what they're talking about. I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm about this life. I'm cut out to be a performer, and then I enrolled at Wayne State University back home in
Okay.
Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, she was an adjunct professor there. So
Okay.
I was able to go there for half off. You know, we love a hookup in the
Hey.
D. You know, Detroit hustle. If your Detroit hustle don't involve a hookup, you doing it backwards.
Right,
Uh,
right.
Also known as low student loan. So that was nice.
Right.
So, and also Wayne has and has had a wonderful theater program. So
Mm-hmm.
I was honored to be able to go there and finished up, graduated from Wayne State, got to do, quite a few productions on the Bonstell stage.
Okay.
And luckily, during my senior year, I started working professionally on camera and voiceover in Detroit. Mainly
Okay.
on camera, I was doing industrial films. For those who don't know what industrial films are, those are projects or films that never are broadcast. They're basically kept internally within a company. So because Detroit is, the automotive capital, I did most of my industrial films for like Ford, GM, and Chrysler, talking about
Mm-hmm.
car parts, new car models, and things like that. So they would basically share those internally or maybe send those to the dealerships for training, different things like that. But the great thing is,
Okay.
because Detroit is a union town, all those jobs were union jobs for actors, which went through SAG or the Screen Actors Guild. So I was able to
Mm-hmm.
join the Screen Actors Guild union while I was still a senior in college, which was, a great head
Nice.
start for an actor.
Yeah.
Um, and I stuck around Detroit after I graduated from Wayne, continuing to do more voiceovers and industrial films, and stuck around for about a year, and then saved up my money and moved to
Mm-hmm.
LA.
Okay.
And
What year was
so
that?
I moved to LA in 2001.
Okay.
Yeah, moved to LA
Cool.
2001, and it was a bumpy road. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
my Melinda, my original plan was to move out here. I was like, I'm doing it in the D, so I mean, I'll be a celebrity or a star within 3
In no
years,
time. Yeah.
right? Then I'll come back and run for mayor. It's a wrap.
Oh.
So that didn't happen. That
Okay.
didn't happen. So because apparently it takes a lot longer to carve out a successful career for most people. Everybody's journey is
Definitely.
different in this crazy business. But I
Yeah.
started off working as a production assistant on the
Up.
commercials and music videos,
Mm-hmm.
which is,
Mm-hmm.
people don't know, that's like just grunt work. Picking up
Yep.
stuff, hold this,
Yep.
grab this, drop this person
Yep.
off. And I started off doing background work on TV shows and movies. Got
Mm-hmm.
my first manager as an actor about 2 years after I moved out here,
Okay.
and got like my first speaking role. I think we booked
Mm-hmm.
like maybe 2 or 3 jobs together, just small parts. They're called co-star roles. And then he dropped me because he's like, he wanted to focus on his clients who were, bigger celebrities or,
Aw.
had a more fruitful acting career at the time. So I was like, oh man,
Mm-hmm.
another kidney shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was like, okay, all right, cool. We move on. And then from then on, honestly, there was like an 8-year drought before I really got back to doing any work on camera for TV and film. In
Mm-hmm.
that gap, well, just to add a little bit of that. So how I really made a living during that
Uh-huh.
time was waiting tables. And then I was a substitute
Mm-hmm.
teacher for 10 years with LA Unified School District. So 2 very
Wow.
flexible jobs if you're an actor
Mm-hmm.
to be able to, work if you're lucky enough to get a job or be able to audition. So that
Right.
was my bread and butter. Slanging
Okay.
these plates, slapping these kids. I never slapped a kid in the face.
Yeah.
No. But
You got me. I caught that late.
you got that in the face. So that was how I was making a living. And then so in that gap when I couldn't get an agent for TV and film, I did have an agent for commercials. So I would get a commercial every blue moon.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started doing some hosting work. That hosting work led me to a stint on a Style Network show called Clean House, which
Oh,
is
I
one of the
remember
shows.
that.
Yeah, so the Style Network is no more, and of course,
I
Clean
know.
House
I love
was
that
canceled.
channel.
But that's how a lot
Oh.
of people, were introduced to Niecy Nash, and she was a
Yes.
huge part of that
Mm-hmm.
show's success, probably
Yep.
a majority part of the show's
Mm-hmm.
success, and why it got some Emmys, and along with the hardworking other cast and crew. But so I was lucky enough to come on the tail end of that. So for the last year and a half of that show,
Mm-hmm.
I got to work as one of the co-hosts on that show
Okay.
or experts on the
Mm-hmm.
show. And then the show ended, but I'm like, okay, I finally got my first full-time job on camera. So let's stick with it. And that unemployment ran out. And I looked at that checking account and it looked at me like, what you gonna do?
Right.
So the Detroit hustle in me was like, well, you got to go get a job. So I went
There you
back to
go.
waiting tables, which was, had to swallow some pride. I remember a moment
Mm-hmm.
with my arms just full of plates, walking from the restaurant back into the kitchen. Somebody, hey man, ain't you that dude on Clean House?
Oh.
Yeah, but I'm on this show called Clean Plates right now, bro. So it's a hidden camera. You can't even see, like, yeah. So you want to see it?
Right.
And that was, that was
Wow.
like, yo, you just swallow your pride, but when you're an adult, when you're a grown ass man, you got to do what you got to do.
You do.
And luckily, I'll fast forward. I finally got an agent, maybe about 6 years ago now. And so, I dropped 8 years without having an agent, trying my best. But the tough juggle in Hollywood when it comes to being an actor and getting an agent is they want you to have credits. They want you to have all this experience oftentimes. But it's like, well, how do I get the experience if you won't represent me? Nobody.
Exactly.
So it's a catch-22. So, and I had a few credits, but not enough for an agent, I guess, to really be excited. So I got the new agent. Cut to 5 years ago. I started working more consistently because I knew all I needed was a chance to just, step up to the plate multiple times. Yeah. And what really felt good, I'll share this small anecdote. When I got my new agent, I signed with them on a Tuesday. That Thursday, they had my first audition. I had a callback. So on that Friday, I went to the callback, and Monday I booked the job, and it was a recurring role. I did 2 episodes on a sitcom on Bounce TV called Family Time.
Okay.
And that, I mean, you remember
I'm sorry, there's a connection there. No, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, so my little cousin was a guest last season, and he actually did the music for that show, if I'm not mistaken. He talked about that recently. Jarrell Quinn. He's a comedian, actor, singer. He's a multi-hyphenate guy, but he did the music production for that show. I'm almost positive that's the show.
Yeah, probably.
I'll have to check that, but
it felt like Steven Spielberg had just offered me the role in his new movie after 8 years of not auditioning and feeling like I know I have a place in his business. I know I can work. Right. And then for my first, it's like being drafted from the minor leagues up to the major leagues in baseball, and your first time at bat, you hit a home run. The first ball that comes across the plate. So it was that affirmation. And so fast forward, 5 years ago, I quit my restaurant job and have been working as a full-time actor ever since, doing a ton of voiceover work. Voiceover work is my bread and butter. And commercials. And then I work on some television shows and some movies.
I've seen you on Shameless.
Okay.
And I know you're on The Chi.
Yep, I have a recurring role.
I don't have Showtime, so I don't watch that, but I've seen the clips. And
get you some Showtime. So you got support.
I know.
Lena, you got Lena Waithe doing all kind of wonderful shows. The whole cast of The Chi.
Yeah. I gotta have time to watch TV first.
It's
so
a lot.
I'll be off for a couple of weeks, so maybe I'll get around to it then. So,
it's a lot.
But yeah, that's a heck of a journey. What kept you motivated through all of that disappointment and that drought?
I guess because I had been committed to it for so long. I took my first acting class when I was 11.
Okay.
And I invested so much time here in LA. I was like, what is the alternative? Move back home. That didn't feel right. Another thing that kept me motivated was, reading scripts, looking at films, looking at television shows, and seeing performers and telling myself and knowing that I can do this. There's no reason, there's no good reason that I shouldn't be working, and I felt like I was realistic, and with my outlook. I would see that role. And sometimes I would just repeat the line and be like, I would have done it like this, or, so I refused to give up, mainly because I was like, well, until I get an agent and really get out there and audition consistently, like, I'm not even going to consider giving up. I was like, now, if I get an agent and they're sending me out on auditions and let's just say a year and a half goes by and I
You
haven't
have to
booked
book.
anything,
Right.
then we'll revisit this conversation of like, maybe I don't have it. I don't know. But so that's what it was for me was I won't even consider making a pivot until I get access, until the gatekeepers let me in.
Sure.
And they let me in the arena, and I was able to put some points on the scoreboard.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, and you had to just have a certain kind of knowing or confidence that this is what you're supposed to be doing. Like your inner compass, so to speak, has got to be guiding you. Like you said, you could have gone home, but you said it didn't feel right. And to people on the outside, logically, that might not make a lot of sense, but it's not really all about logic, is it?
No, yeah, that's faith is believing in something that can't be seen, can't be proven. So you gotta have that faith. And I feel like when you do have that faith, a lot of times it's something that can be subconscious that people they feel when they're around you, or they get this feeling from you, like this person believes in themselves in a very realistic way. And oftentimes that can convert into people hiring you or people just looking at you in a different way.
Sure. Well, I mean, that is awesome. I didn't know your journey in detail like that, but to see where you arrived to, and I know you haven't arrived. I'm sure there's a lot more that you want to do in your career, but it's just like, wow, that even humbles me, and I haven't even gone through that. So kudos to you for sticking with it and hanging in there.
They tried to bury me. They forgot I was a seed.
Okay. Right. So are there any upcoming projects that you can talk about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thankfully they're bringing me back to season 4 of The Chi. We start shooting, I think end of January is when we're back. So I'm excited to return to the show. I have no idea what the storylines are going to be this season. So that's exciting to, kind of be left in suspense. But as of now, I believe I'm on hold for the first 3 episodes of the season. So
okay. And what's the character's name again you're playing?
His name is Martin St. John.
Okay.
St. John. So,
all right. That's for the audience, you guys. So if you're fans, remember, this is the guy. And if you don't know and you want to check it out,
exactly. I'm gonna have my clothes off I think, for the first 3 episodes.
I think the
Showtime don't know that yet. Showtime don't know that yet, but we gonna learn the backstory of Martin St. John and how really he made his money from his OnlyFans page and then invested that into some hedge funds. I think people need to understand that his journey was not as polished as he. You know what I'm saying? Spoiler alert.
Now I'm gonna say that when I caught you on Shameless, I think you did not have clothes on. I was like, oh.
I cannot confirm nor deny that. Next question.
What else you got going on?
What else? Oh, right now I have a film that just came out on Netflix a week and a half ago called You Are My Home. So I don't know when this is going to air, but that just came out, I think, on the 4th, early December. So that's, and I just found out that it is trending. So I guess a lot of people have been watching it. It's a wonderful holiday movie.
Good for you.
Check it out. You're going to cry like a baby. I don't care how much of a thug you are or you think you are. You're going to cry. You know what I mean? You can blame it on whatever you want. There's some dust in my eye, bro. I ain't crying. You crying.
Right.
But so I'm excited about that. And people,
that's awesome.
The reception has been great. We shot that movie in Texas and has an immigrant theme to it that's very powerful and poignant and very much a present day issue. So that's going on. As far as voiceover stuff is going, I am currently the voice of Fox Sports. So
yes, I saw that. Congratulations.
I should be. We'll see how long I'm there. I think there's a love fest going on. I love them. They love me. So for the foreseeable future, I will be the voice of Fox Sports. So when you turn on Fox and you hear, coming up next Thursday, it's the Pistons versus the Bucks. That's me.
Woo!
Holla
all right.
at your boy.
That's
Um,
awesome. That's really
Trying
awesome.
to
And
think.
those are the kind of jobs that like people they know you, but they don't even know you. They know you. They just know your voice.
Yep, I like it. I get to work from
Mm-hmm.
home. I got my vocal booth here, so I love
Mm.
that commute from the
Oh
bed to the
yeah.
booth. That's it.
Nothing like it.
That's it. What
Okay.
I just shot a commercial for U.S. Bank that should start airing in February.
My mortgage is with US Bank. No, it really is.
Oh no! Oh, I love it. I love it. It was a special commercial for me because in the commercial they were looking for a real floral designer, and you brought up earlier that is
Right.
one of my hustles. That was a hobby that I had of designing flowers. I never even knew I had that talent. And it
Mm-hmm.
was a hobby, became self-taught, and then became actually a side business called Bloom's
Yeah.
Brothers. It was another, the Detroit
Oh,
hustle. We got to have multiple forms of income.
tell that.
So, you know, I don't do it as much anymore because acting keeps me pretty busy. Thank
Right.
God.
Yeah,
But
right.
it's still a passion of mine and it's something I do for, for myself and for friends from
Sure.
time to time. But the cool thing was I almost forgot. So they
Hmm.
booked me for the commercial, because they're like, "Oh, you're an actor and you're an actual floor designer." I forgot when I first got my business account when I did my DBA with Bloom's Brothers, it was with U.S. Bank. So I was like, "That's full
Look at
circle
that.
like a mug." So it
Mm-hmm.
was just really cool to be able to blend my hobby life with my career
Sure.
life and be able to show that on camera. Yeah, and it's also like we don't see that image a lot of just a brother designing
Right.
flowers. So you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
Right. No,
we've
no,
seen
that's
it. What
great.
my good buddy Maurice Harris is crushing the floral world right now. He's a brother with his
Uh-oh.
company, Bloom and Plume. You can catch him on HBO's In Full Bloom. He's done a bunch
Oh,
of commercials as
wow.
well. It's incredible. He's become hugely
Is he
successful
based in
florist.
LA also?
He is, yeah, and
Okay.
florist to the stars, and he does stuff with
Maybe we'll have
Beyonce.
to have
And
him on as a guest. Is he from
well, he's not
Detroit?
from Detroit though. He's not from Detroit.
Dang. Well, we
He's not
are
from
going to have later a segment for Detroit Hustle Doppelgangers. So maybe we could connect for that.
Possibly,
Because
yes,
there
yes.
are some non-Detroiters that have that hustle that I know. So got to
Uh
give
huh.
them some shine too.
Absolutely. But all that to
All
say that,
right.
I ain't a groundbreaker. There's some brother, but
Gotcha.
we don't have a lot of images like that. So I'm all about
No, no,
breaking the
yeah.
mold and,
Hmm.
defying stereotypes and tropes.
Definitely. Yep.
Switch it
That's
up. Switch it
important.
up.
Very
Hmm.
important. So that's awesome. So you got a lot of stuff going on. That's really cool. So everybody you heard, you need to be following all this stuff and checking him out. I will be
Hmm.
doing it myself.
Oh, I'm
And so
also
now we're
launching a
going to,
product. I'm launching a
oh, okay.
product for men who have chest hair. It's a chest hairbrush to just, if you want the wet and wavy look, just, you know what I mean?
360.
Yeah, I mean, you got the 360 way, you know what I mean? Just, there's a few of us brothers, who got chest hair. We need to, have it coiffed and, we don't want that taco meat look. I know
No, I'm
everybody, back in the day,
gonna
women
say
saw G
that.
Money on uh,
New
what the hell?
Jack
Wow.
City.
Yeah, New Jack City. And they saw G Money in New Jack City. And it was like, ooh, I'm like, that taco meat, nah. He must have been a handsome brother because you see that taco meat. There's nobody like taco meat on a man chest.
Oh my
So
God.
just be looking for that brush.
Stop.
Yes, it's called
Okay. Oh.
the lay down bay down. For when a woman's bay, she want the hair to lay down. The lay down bay down. It's gonna come out. Hopefully,
Uh-huh.
Lusters. We can get Lusters to come on board and really push that
Okay.
product.
So comedian, is that another one of your side hustles?
Nope, I got too much
No,
respect
okay.
for
Okay.
the hustle of a comedian. I say funny shit sometimes.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Leave it at
All
that.
right. So now we're going to transition into the more Detroit centric part of the podcast. And I want to ask you, it's kind of a serious question, but take the liberty to answer however you like. But to you, what makes the D so special as far as how it's been able to influence you and make you who you are today?
I think it's the blue collar grit in the DNA of the city. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
I think it some of the social activists in the city. Growing up, seeing, in my lifetime, like a black mayor, a black police chief, a black fire chief, a mostly black city council, a mostly black school board. and seeing, you know, people in the community, you know, fighting for better conditions in their neighborhood. Like growing up around that, it was just like you just supposed to fight for stuff. You know, and representation of seeing Black folks in positions of power, like it was just kind of normal
Yeah.
for me. And then also, you know, just when you look at the history of Detroit and the people who have come out of Detroit and Detroit's contributions to the arts, from, you know, Berry Gordy and Motown, you know, Donald Byrd, in the jazz scene. I mean, Detroit has just birthed so many wonderful art forms that, you know, unfortunately, a lot of folks have had to leave to make a you know, livable wage in their craft. But there's something about Detroit, you know what I mean? So I think it is just that grit and that rich culture, you know what I mean, with all the Black folks who came during the Great Migration from the South. It created something special in Detroit. So it has that, you got that little bit of that Southern essence. You got that industrial flavor from the, you know, the car factory, the faith-based culture of, you know, all the churches in Detroit. So yeah, and it's just a very, very culturally rich too. You know, when you look at the Middle Eastern population that's in the surrounding areas as well, I feel like all that feeds, you know, I guess the gumbo pot that makes my Detroit hustle what it is.
Oh, I love that. The gumbo pot. Oh, and I'm hungry too.
You better go down there. What's that place? What's that place on Gratiot? I think they're still open. That one Louisiana spot. It's over near Eastern Market. When I was home in October.
Know.
They always had the good red beans and rice.
Really?
Something.
You guys heard it. Red beans and rice.
I forget the name. It's on it's right on Gratiot.
I don't know. That I don't know. And I don't go back often. I'm based in Florida right now, but I did go back 2 years ago for my 20 year for CAS. Okay. So I did eat all the food. I was there for 2 weeks and I just hung out downtown and I just ate and walked around and explored. It was so much fun. Downtown is phenomenal right now.
Oh yeah, it's popping. It's popping.
I was just like, this was not my downtown in the late 90s when I was taking the bus. Not at all. Different. Well, that was awesome response. And we've had a lot of similar responses, obviously, because I think we all get it. But it's just always nice to get a little bit of a different flavor and a little bit of a different perspective added. So thank you for adding to the gumbo of that response, because we have been building over time and it's getting really rich and I love it. So thank you. All right, now for the game. So this is going to be the Fab Five.
You got the game theme music that you put on?
I don't, but you know what? That's a good idea.
Steal mine. You're gonna steal mine.
Yep, I'm gonna do something like that.
Right.
So basically it's, you know, obviously it's a playoff of the Michigan team of old, and I'm gonna ask you about 5 of your favorite Detroit things. And you know, have at it, answer as you want, give us a story, whatever. So number 1, your favorite Detroit landmark.
My favorite Detroit landmark is Eastern Market.
Okay. Any particular reason why?
Yeah, I just have so many great memories of going there with my mom on the weekends and, you know, getting fruits and plant and meat and fish. You know what I mean? There's a very kind of nostalgic quality to being able to go to one place and get, you know, all your groceries. You know what I'm saying? Fresh eggs, you can get meat, you can pick your turkey out and they will defeather it and all that and prepare it for you. And then you can go get nuts and coffee and spices. Like there's a very nostalgic, there's not many places I know of in the United States where you can go to one location and get all that.
Yeah. Good prices too.
Yeah, and the good prices too. And then, you know, there's so many people interacting, which, you know, your fellow Detroiters running into people that you know. And yeah, it just had a lot of history and a lot of heritage to it that just, every time I go home, I always spend a lot of time at Eastern Market.
Gotcha. Yeah, I used to live at Lafayette Tower. So when I lived there, I would go there every weekend and it was awesome. And I believe, what is it, the oldest open air market in the United States?
Probably.
I think that is the case. We talked about it in another episode too. So we've gotten that answer before. Thank you. Number 2, Now, I kind of make this a little hard because I want to stump you, but your favorite Detroit restaurant or dish, past or present?
Mm. Favorite Detroit restaurant or dish? Uh, that's a tough one. I would probably say, uh, yeah, there used to be a brother named Sabriz, Muslim brother. He had a spot on Livernois, a little small shack, and his food would take forever. But he made it with so much love, and he had this falafel. He had this falafel he
Mm,
would make. It was still to this day the best falafel I ever had in my life. And
mm,
yeah, it's not there anymore. But I mean,
right, right.
he made it fresh every day. He fried it
Wow.
fresh, and chopped up all the fresh vegetables. And he just,
Hmm.
he had a certain quiet strength about his spirit. Just when you would talk to him, that just,
Gotcha.
made the meal that much better.
That sounds amazing, actually. I wish I had known about it when he was around. But thank you
Yeah.
for sharing
For
that.
goodness, there's so many runner-ups.
Uh-huh. You
I
can name
mean,
some. Everybody else does.
American Coney,
Uh,
Cedarland over on Warren. I mean, that's technically Dearborn.
okay.
Um, and of course, Turkey Grill.
Okay.
No, is it called Turkey Grill? Yeah,
I
Turkey
don't
Grill
know.
on Woodward.
Okay.
Pretty sure it's called there.
Woodward. Okay.
The Creole fried turkey wings.
Oh.
Um, oh goodness gracious! I mean, Pizza Popolis,
That comes up often.
fish bones.
hmm
Man, a lot of good spots. A lot of good spots.
Yeah. When I go home, I have to have Olga's. Have to, because I can't
Olga's, yeah,
get it down
Olga's.
here. Oh
But
my
that sweet
God.
pita bread, they put like the sugar or something in their pita bread.
Man, but it's so good. It's so good.
It
Oh.
is, no, in a good way. I mean, they put like I'm like it's like this sweet, like this sweetness.
You just can't. It's so
Yeah.
unique. So
Mm-hmm.
unique. I
Mm-hmm.
know I'm hungry because I'm like
Right. Just going back to food.
definitely going to be eating lunch after this. Anyway, so number 3 is your favorite downtown event, downtown only. So, festivals, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. African World Festival, which I don't know if they have that anymore, but yeah, that was it, the African World Festival.
hmm Is there any
Just
reason
because,
why you picked that? That's a popular answer too, by the way.
yeah, but it was just a celebration of our African heritage, and they had so much interesting food. You would just smell it in the air. You would smell different spices than you would typically smell if you were going to your kitchen or a restaurant. uh,
hmm
all the different accessories and clothes and stuff that you could buy,
hmm
the bands and musicians that played. They would
hmm
King Sundiata Keita and his dance group and drummers. They would parade through Hart Plaza,
hmm
playing. Uh, yeah, it was just a real special time.
Definitely. It was always right before we went back to school too. So that's how I remembered
Oh yeah, I've
that.
never
Yeah.
remembered the
It was
time
like the
now.
end
Okay,
of August. Yeah.
okay. Mm-hmm.
All right. So number 4, and this is a favorite. Your favorite Detroit sports team.
My favorite Detroit sports team are the Detroit Pistons.
Okay. Okay.
Them
Okay.
Stones, them Stones.
Yeah. I would.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pick one. I kind of like them all for different reasons, but the
Mm-hmm.
Pistons definitely were like the standout in my childhood and my development just because of the Bad Boys. I was like 8
Yeah.
when they won that first one. And then when they lost to the Bulls, I didn't watch basketball for like 13 years. I was so emotionally scarred.
Oh no.
So I would say that they've had the most effect on me, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of with you on that, but I don't really pick. All
Okay.
right.
You just
And
force
the
us to
last
pick.
one. Yes, of course, because I can do what I want. I'm the
Is that what you?
host.
I don't know.
Yes.
According to the rules of the Geneva Convention, use a lie. Use a lie.
All right. And then number 5, your favorite Detroit memory. And what I mean by that is a memory that you have that's so Detroit, you
Mm-hmm.
couldn't possibly classify it as anything else.
Mm. Mm. Favorite memory. Uh, Man, that's a tough one. I would say my favorite memory. So I was raised, my mom was Jewish, my father was Black. But my mom raised me on her own.
Okay.
And I had a bar mitzvah when I was 13, and we had my bar mitzvah party at the Majestic Theater on Woodward.
Oh, okay.
On Woodward Avenue. And it was so Detroit because it just kind of, it brought together all these different parts of my life. Number one, I've always liked magic. I'm kind of like a bootleg amateur magician. And the Majestic Theater was the last theater that Harry Houdini performed in before he died.
Really?
So to have it there had some significance. Yeah. And then the cultural significant element was that the kids in the suburbs who I went to Hebrew school with, I went there like one day a week. A lot of them, didn't come to Detroit much. I'm sure that there's been a history of kind of like a hard divide between the city and the suburbs. And so those kids got to come into the city, which is something they didn't normally do. And then you had, my friends from Detroit Public School, who were mainly Black, who had never been to a bar mitzvah. So you had these two groups of people who typically weren't in this environment together, in a place that had some cultural significance. Well, not cultural, but had a meaningful significance with the whole, Harry Houdini performing there, me liking magic. And I worked there, actually. I was the water boy at it used to be called the Gnome Restaurant, which was right in front of the theater. That same family, the Zania family, owned that whole block. So it just felt like a very Detroit type of experience. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. You married the two worlds, and it was magical, and it was right in the heart of downtown.
Right in the city.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was a very unique answer. I like that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Because I think what we're trying to say is there's magic inside of all of us. Yeah, what he said. It's like the more you know, rainbow is just gonna go across. Right, the more you know.
Don't get me to trying to edit stuff in.
Right. This podcast brought to you by the Bay Down Lay Down brush for your chest hair. Yeah, plug.
Well, I am so sad because now we're done, and I had such a great time. I am just thrilled that we finally got a chance to talk to each other. This is awesome. Now I can count you as a friend of the podcast.
There we go.
Thank you so much. Hustle. The Detroit Hustle. And I just need to stop talking because I'll just repeat myself. But thank you so much for your contribution to the show. You just made it that much richer. And I just really appreciate you giving us some of your time today, because like you said, you got a lot going on, but we really appreciate that you did this for us. So thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure, Melinda. It's a lot of fun.
All right. Well, everybody, that's another episode of the Detroit Hustle Podcast. Stay tuned and tune in next week. Bye.